Oh, this is a nice restaurant.
Oh yeah, I'm a 5-star cuisine. Good evening, my name is Jean-Jean.
What, a nickname?
Is it a clip-on?
I'll be right back to the door.
So, what's good here?
I just close my eyes and point. Can't go wrong. 1, 2, 3. The duck liver bait.
You mean pate?
Excuse me, it's spelled P-A-T-E.
Right, but you see that little sand?
God, I was just kidding you. Well then, by the time
We'll go back to normal.
We sure have, but we would love for you to tell us all
About the entrance. What?
Okay, that was the audio demonstration when you plug in the speakers. And this last slide, I'm finished now. The whole point of this is to illustrate to people that high-frequency hearing loss is actually something that many people have, and in many situations it does not bother them. But when they get into background noise, and I think you will notice that when you are in a place where there's background noise, and the person isn't always deaf or what all the time, but you will notice that more frequently than other people, the person asks you to repeat. I know that, I have that type of hearing loss, and it happens to me. So this is just the statement about how this tape was created, the audio portion. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions for Dr. Beiter? Questions?
I've
Michelle?
never heard that one before. Yes.
Is there a difference in the hearing range for men and women and for the way they lose their hearing?
Not so much from, well, not from age, but there certainly is from noise exposure. Men generally lose it faster because they're generally around noise more often. They have noisy lives. Lives or wives? I don't have one of those, so I'm not sure. Ally, you had a question?
Doctor, is it true that as you get older, your canals either elongate or swell or something like that?
He asked if your canals elongate or swell, your ear canals, and I don't think so. Your ear canals can change if you gain or lose weight just in terms of the diameters and size, a very, very, very slight bit, but that can make a difference on ear plugs or something, but they generally don't change.
Are there any protective device against the high shrill we've been on the grill?
Absolutely.
What is it?
Earplugs, custom fitted earplugs.
But then you can't hear the patient scream when they're hurting.
But you don't want to hear them.
They all scream.
Yes.
We have a lady at the Scottish room who's always telling us that we don't need to speak louder, we need to speak more slowly. Is that the same type
Well,
of
that's,
hearing loss that you
there's truth to that in speaking slowly because it just gives the person more, first of all, they're probably speech weakening quite a bit. As you lose hearing, just naturally your speech weakening becomes better. But haven't you ever talked to a teenager who's running a mile a minute verbally and you say, wait a minute, I can get all that, you know? And I think that happens in our processing ability as we get older, not quite as sharp as it was. So yes.
Hearing damage, you were mentioning loud block counts or something like that. Or I'm sorry, more than one dimension. At what level or output should you be worried about that damage occurring?
These guys know 85 decibels. We do a lot of hearing conservation, and when your noise levels reach 85, that's generally on an average over 8 hours. But I would say if you're going to like running your lawnmower, if that lawnmower is 90 decibels or above, I wear them all the time. Earmuffs, earplugs, like grass, or your power tools. Anything that you can protect yourself is wise to do because there's enough that you just can't. You can't protect yourself when you turn on your blender. You don't, half the time you don't wear earmuffs when you're using a vacuum cleaner. But I would say this, if you have a shop vac, those things are probably 95 close to 100 decibels. So I would protect it anytime you can, yes.
Do you have any idea how loud the L train is?
Yes. The L train is at least 90 decibels, 95 decibels down underground, underneath the
It's
station.
bouncing off the building. I'm on Wabash all the time, and you literally cannot hear the person next to you.
When that train goes over, it's got to be 90 or higher, and that's damaging. I mean, it's not going to be damaging for that 5 seconds that it goes over, but when I'm on the train riding it, when they come into the station, I plug my ears. It's just tremendous. And you know, in Australia, they're very quiet, so there's something that we're not doing.
And Dr. Beiter, do you see children? So
Yes, we do,
somebody
but
has
not younger than about 5.
So reading, somebody would have a difficulty in school reading.
Oh, sure.
You would do a hearing
Oh,
test.
absolutely. We will do a hearing test, and I wanted to mention that because Charles mentioned it to me about her daughter. If you have anybody that you're concerned about their hearing, just bring them in. We will do a complimentary hearing test for anybody and let you know the basics of what's going on. So, yes.
Are you covered by insurance?
We
Insurance?
are covered by insurance. For testing, I don't really use it. I'd rather do a test and not charge you rather than go through all the paperwork and pay $40, $50 for it. It costs me $100 to do the paperwork to get $50. So. And Medicare does not pay for hearing aids, so it doesn't make much difference anyway. So.
Last question.
I was just wondering, on the presentation that you did.
The audio, you mean?
The audio. When you were showing us the charts, it looked like the right and left ear on all the charts we were hearing differently at different decibels or at different frequencies. Is that typical for the right and left ear to be hearing?
They may have been a little bit different, and the reason I made it a little bit different is nobody's hearing is generally exactly. It can be exactly, but they were maybe different by 5 to 10 decibels. That is considered equal. If they were 15 to 20 dB difference, then you'd see a real gap between the red circles and the blue X's.
Thank you. Now that we know more about what Dr. Beiter